Good morning, everyone. Whatever. Lovely presentations today. I already forgot what I was going to talk about, but apparently it's my game. This is a virtual memorial for the lack of physical ones, and I will explain what I mean with it in a moment. My name is Casi. I'm a freelancer technical artist and animator. This is my source of income. I'm also an indie game developer, as you can guess from the presentation today. That is not my source of income. I've also been teaching animation in a private university in Germany. I come from Spain, but I moved there to have an opportunity in games. I am also part of the organization of the FemDevs Meetup, which is a community for minorities in Germany in the games industry, and I'm very happy to be part of this team. But the game was not only made by me, even if it was my original idea and also my way of finishing finally my master's in game development and research. I basically took care of the game design and art, and the written text that you will find in the game, by the way, will be, of course, exposed over there, exhibited over there after the talks today. Sound design and music was made by my father, who is, among other things, a musician and sound designer. I got help with programming later on in the development, and I got wonderful help from some of my friends with the translations. A very fast English translation, very, very good from Catriel, German translation from Rudiger that you will hear in a moment, and a French translation by my Spanish friend who lives in Lyon for many, many years already. So what is 13 Rosas? It's a horror adventure game. It's mobile first because I want to reach to players that don't have access to a PC. My intention is not to add microtransactions. It's just a way of addressing more audiences. I want players to explore a nightmarish impossible building to find 13 roses and retrieve them to the guardian creature. So, like, the original idea was basically, what if a Slenderman, but instead of 8 pages, it's 13 roses. If you haven't played a Slenderman, I recommend it to you. It's a spooky game. It's better with friends because they will make you scared because of them yelling at the scary jumps. There is a demo available in itch.io. By the way, the presentation is also online. I will also show the link afterwards. And it is translated into 5 languages because why not? I come from Valencia. We are bilingual. I made the 2 first languages, and you saw who wrote the other versions. Very short development timeline. Sometime in 2020, I needed to make this game. I made the first master build for my thesis. Then I finally published the demo in the 5th of August, which is the anniversary of the assassination of the 13 Roses. And later on, we added the major bug fix, and finally, a few weeks ago, we had the French and German release. So it's also a virtual memorial. What I mean with that is that we don't have that much of memory culture in Spain. Never heard of her. Exhumations started in 2006. So Franco died in 1975, and since there was no idea of who was on the side of the roads of Spain, we do have landmarking memorials, but it's things like the Valle de los Caídos, which is dedicated to Franco. He's not there anymore. He's in the cemetery of not church, the biggest cathedral of Madrid. And as I said before, 13 Roses is in 13 Rosas because this is the given name to a group of socialist women executed after the end of the Spanish Civil War. So it was an execution not throughout the war, but just as a punishment for the resistance. I needed to make this to get it out of my system, and this is what happened. So there is a lot of symbolism going on in the game. I wanted to go for things that are somewhat the most familiar figures, even if I would like to also address things that are not that well known, but the name of the 13 Roses and also the Guernica are, rings a bell outside of people that are interested in the history of Spain. So everything visual is kind of a memorial, no, to Picasso's Guernica, who, by the way, made this as his only commissioned work to represent the horrors of the bombing of that town in the north of Spain. There is the Misiones Pedagógicas by Lorca, the monolith to the international brigades in the patio, and Guerra Taros, so half of what Robert Capa was photographies. And it's also a written memory of the horrors and causes of fascism. But I'm not adding any visual representation of it because it can be put out of context, it can be used as an avatar, and I don't want any random fascist on the internet to use any material that I have created to just symbolize their grotesque stand. I have big opinions, as you can see. Okay, I'm not going to draw you through the last 100 years of history in Spain right now. Also, maybe many of you in the room have a better explanation of what happened to my country, but basically, once upon a time we were a monarchy, then the king was voted out, ran away, there was a republic, a coup d'etat, civil war, 40 years of Franco, and now we are a monarchy again. There was no fun this so far, okay? The initial gain for me to finish this somewhat was to finish my studies. But then I saw I'm not the only one missing games dedicated to this somber period of our history, and funding any sort of company is a full-time job. As I said before, I have other things to do to feed myself, and also the team has other things to do. We wanted to be a co-op based in 2 countries because there's people in Spain, there's people in Germany, also one in France. But at this point, we don't want more dedicated work until there's money on the table. And for setting that up, it takes time. So at some point, it will happen. So what has the reception been so far? I was interviewing in one of the national radio stations. There was also a regional broadcast, some dedicated and generalist press took a minute to talk about the game or to interview me about it. So apparently people want games about the civil war that is not only from the perspective of strategy games or specifically of the bellic conflict, but what are the social and historical consequences of that. I've also been in festivals and conferences like today, and I'm very happy that I'm here today. I'm also at the same time avoiding targeted hatred, because so far the game is so irrelevant that the general audience doesn't know about it, and we are still yet to receive any insults or threats. That is a big possibility by seeing how things are going in Spain. Sorry. Okay. So we disabled comments where possible. We established an alternative language that goes around under the radar of hateful speech, you know, like using emojis instead of saying specifically 13 Rosas, because in that case we will get a lot of trolls that we don't want in the conversation. And a really good thing about living in Germany is that fascism is anti-constitutional, so there's a lot of kind of accounts that are just don't exist. I cannot see them while tweeting, for example, right? So originally this was not for the gamers, and I still don't want it to be only like a game for the sake of gaming. But I had 2 major responses. Not everything is a game. This is insulting. What are you doing with our piece of history? This has to be more serious, etc., etc. The other was from people that don't even play games or don't consider themselves gamers even if they play casual. So to me, they are actually playing games, but that's another story. This is a great resource to start a conversation with our younger generations. So, actually, 12-year-olds love horror indies. I cannot pitch this because technically horror is not for kids, but actually when I was a kid, I loved horror as well. but I rather get them into Antifa creepypasta, that's the name of this kind of genre that I came up with, than the manosphere, directly. It's my stance. So basically, in conclusion, one way or another, this game is being made, eventually, right? Thank you so much.